been following the story and my head is just spinning, really. A major aviation disaster was narrowly averted on Tuesday when a commercial aircraft carrying the former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and over 100 other passengers suffered a terrifying mid-air malfunction at the local wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. Eyewitnesses and aviation insiders confirmed that Obi was aboard Air Peace flight P47123, which departed Abuja around 12:59 p.m. Nearly 25 minutes behind schedule, the plane, expected to land in Lagos 1:55 p.m., remained airborne and disoriented for over 30 minutes, finally landing at 2:25 p.m. amidst panic and prayer. The pilot lost control for almost 30 minutes. The plane hovered aimlessly. It kept trying to land but had to pull up again and again. People were screaming, crying, praying. It was chaos. At a point, we thought it would crash into houses, a shaking passenger told the media. Ascension Field, the cabin Peter Obi seated in the economy section, reportedly remained calm and reassuring. He kept telling everyone to be calm, that everything would be fine. Another passenger recounted, we thought it was the end. If that plane had gone down, nobody would have believed it wasn't sabotage. Not with Peter Obi on board. Many of the flights described the scene as apocalyptic. A mother of two said she prepared for the worst. I almost gave up. The plane kept jerking and circling. People were praying loudly, casting out demons. We hovered endlessly like we were trapped between life and death. Another passenger, Dr. Benson Onuwaje, was hailed as a spiritual anchor during the ordeal. From the first class section, he reportedly stood up to pray for the safety of all on board. He called on God with authority. He encouraged us all to believe we would make it, and somehow we did. Aviation authorities have yet to provide a detailed report about insiders suggest the delay and hovering were the result of a critical failure in the plane's landing coordination system or possible air traffic control mishandling. The incident once again raises pressing questions about the safety and reliability of Nigeria's aviation infrastructure. Peter Obi had reportedly just returned from a visit to flood-ravaged communities in northern Nigeria, where he recently donated 20 million naira to victims in Niger State. His return to Abuja was for a scheduled political meeting before boarding the ill-fated Lagos-bound flight. Oh boy. At this point, everything is on the cards. You know, thank God that didn't happen, but trust me, like the report said, nobody would have believed that an underhand did not play, especially when Peter Obi is on board. Nobody would ever believe it. I don't know, thinking about it, Peter Obi dead by plane crash, it would be devastating. It will be terribly devastating. Now, let me put this in perspective. For just 1 minute, think if this has happened. Do you know what's coming to my mind now? That video. The Walker guy, the APC guy, who had purportedly threatened Peter Obi's life. That Peter Obi came to the media and started shouting that his life is being threatened. Maybe he must have forgotten.
I, Felix Morka, did not threaten Peter Obi. Nothing I said in that interview begins to even suggest remotely that, Peter Obi, I was asking anything other than saying to the man who was asking me a question, he said, you guys are calling him prophet of doom or, voodoo economist. And I said, well, you know what, if that is what it's called, he has, he deserves it because he's crossed the line of truth. Now, I don't know by what medium or by what, effort do you then transmogrify that conversation into a threat to Obi's life and the life of his family, or those around him. That is libel in the extreme.
I know Mr. Obi likes to quote figures from Bangladesh, from India, from China, but that's not what we're talking about. Let's move to the second leg of it. Has anybody threatened you? Because your own party is saying you have been threatened. And who are those people who have threatened you? How?
Actually,
because you two you are alleging.
Absolutely.
You should also prove.
As it turns out, Peter Obi's allegation that the words I spoke in that interview threatened his life. Now, immediately, as I speak, I have documented no less than 400 threats, about over 200 of which are death threats. Document. I'm not talking about people just, these are written texts that I have carefully documented and which, I'm providing to the law enforcement agencies, or people really telling me how they, graphically describing how they intend to take me out, to shoot me, behead me in graphic language. You see, this is not a joke. And it's gone further to some members of my family who have also been, threatened directly. I'm not speaking about just, suggesting in graphic, language. You see, but, I'm not concerned about that because, what has triggered this entire insanity cannot be attributed to me. I did not threaten Peter Obi. And so anybody who is threatening me, that is their decision to do so. But, I hope that our law enforcement system will respond as effectively as possible to also, bring those individuals to justice.
Here is that video. That thing came to my mind. That thing played out in my mind. He's been threatened. His life has been threatened. This is the reason why it is very good to be careful what you say, when you say them, and how you say them. No, if I wouldn't have thought about that if Peter Obi did not speak about it. Now my mind is just going, okay, had there been any antecedents? Had there been any past, moves or reaction, or maybe a call or something that can link it? Because I'm just one person. There might be 1,000 people thinking differently, and somebody can decide to draw an inference. And most likely, this must have been orchestrated by members of the APC or maybe somebody in government, just to not just sabotage the company, but of course sabotage the 2027 election, because of course we know that Peter Obi is one of the major contender for the 2027 general elections. Just think about it. Just think about it. Again, whatever you do, be careful. And I also want to ask, do you think Peter Obi should even try to at least even get security around him? If you see this, I've seen him severally at the airport. This guy carries his bag on his own. I don't understand. This guy carries his own bags. Like he might himself doesn't like people carrying his bag. And he's a multi-billionaire, for crying out loud. This guy is not poor. I don't know. Do you think he should have security around him? Do you also think that this is not directly around about personal security, but do you think he should have, now that where everybody now is talking about 2027 elections, that thing has started? Yes, it might be a little bit still far away, not that far, because it's less than 2 years. It's less than 2 years. The election is in February of 2027. It's less than 2 years. So I really don't know. I really don't know whether this is actually going to in any way impede or impugn on his ability to do other things. Yes, you could say, how careful can one be? Air travel is still the safest, one of the safest and shortest. At least if you're leaving Abuja by 8 a.m., you are sure of arriving at max 1 hour if the flight is delayed. If it's from east to Lagos, almost the same thing. If it is Lagos to Abuja, if it's Lagos to London, that kind of thing, you are almost, sure that your safety is almost sure. Of course, nobody's safety is practically sure, but you rarely hear flights dropping or plane dropping at any time. Anyhow, having said that, I don't know what you guys think. I don't know. What you guys think? What do you guys think? Because me, I'm beginning to be paranoid. I'm going mad because trust me, when it comes to politics, everything is on the plate. Now, I have not said anybody orchestrated it. I just said my mind cast to what happened, what that back and forth that happened. That Felix Morka, came and defended himself. I didn't say that they are involved or I'm just being paranoid. Like, look, nothing should happen to Peter Obi. Please, as in, it will now. Look, you know what? Just leave me alone. I'll talk to you guys later.